Ozdemir.
Hi,
Hello,
everyone.
good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here, and thank you for accepting our invitation, especially for our speakers. So today we will showcase two more practices from ETF partner country, Albania and Montenegro. In this case, so after our usual welcome. Anisa Subashi from the Confederation of Trade Unions of Albania will start uh, talking about building strategic partnership for inclusive and excellent vet, and will present a case exactly about partnership from Albania. After that, Marko Vukasinovic from the Ministry of Education, Science and Innovation of Montenegro um, will have his contribution about the Dual Fund, which is a financing mechanism to support work-based learning in Montenegro. And if we have time enough, but we guess so, in the last part of our meeting, Professor Bartlett will start presenting the structure of the GLAD network paper, which, as you may know, should be the final outcome of all our meetings. And then we will have a couple of minutes for conclusions and decide what we will do in the next meeting or meetings. So this is the agenda for today. It's a very intense and we hope rich agenda, rich of interesting contribution. Of course, questions are always allowed. So if you want to ask us for some more information, please don't hesitate. So I think we can start, Syria.
Yes, thank you. I'm not adding anything. I'm very happy to give the floor to Anisa Subashi. She will speak about building strategic partnerships for inclusive and excellent vet, the case of practice in Albania. And I think this fits perfectly in the topic of our discussion in the GLAD network meeting. So Anisa, the floor is yours. If you can remain within, say, 12, 15 minutes, so we have time for question and answer, we would be grateful. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Will be very difficult for saying the truth, but in any case, I'll try. After 15 minutes, you can stop me, and I've sent my presentation to Roberto, and then the others can have it if it's a. I'll try to share it. So I think this, yes, it's okay. Yeah. Okay. I have discussed a little bit this thing together with the director Evis. Maybe some of you know her. Is the director of National Agency for Education, Vocational Training, and Qualification. So this contribution, it's not only mine. It's a together contribution because we discussed what is better to give like a practice for partnership, building strategic partnership. And a very good case is the one that I have to do with sectoral skills committees. There are committees. That have been created in Albania from 2000 and 2023. There has been created three till now. It's the Committee of Hospitality and Tourism, the Committee of Technology of Information and Communication. Now it is created these days also the Committee of Energy, and is on last steps of creation, also the agriculture one. And there is a very good, let's say, example how all the actors work together and try like that reform, let's say. This is, as
Excuse
I
me,
said,
Anisa, can you please put the modality in full screen, because otherwise it's difficult to read.
Like this.
Great, thank you very much.
Okay. So it's a sectoral skills committee for the reform. As I said, it's a functioning model. It's a for us and for me, after 2 years that I am part of one of these committees, the Committee of Hospitality and Tourism, it's an added value, for say the truth, it's an added value. It's a system benefit and case evidence. So this has been a reform solution, a very good reform solution. And the KSSH in the 3 of these committees is representing trade unions like a member in the committees. It's the only confederation like a member. And it's a sectoral skill committee. I will run on speaking, so not to take too much time. It's very structured and it's permanent. It's connects sectors with that, brings employers into qualification decisions, validates standards through sector expertise, and create continuous feedback loops. And its meetings are every, let's say, 4 times a year, quarterly. We meet 4 times, and they are very active. How they function? They are sectoral-based technical plan or dialogue for skills anticipation and development. They are established by minister order. Of course, in the process of integration of Albania in the EU, this was one of the needs, and our government is more than 10 years that has given importance to that and to professional skills. And this is why these committees are created, operate under defined mandate. They have 3 years mandate, but it's, let's say, it's going on that can be elected again. It's integrated into Albanian qualification framework process and support qualification standard governance. As I said, when we speak about qualification framework process, it works under this National Agency for Education, Vocational Training and Qualification, and they also have they have the experts for all the issues and the curricula and everything that we discussed on it, because includes relevant line ministers. These sectors have some ministries that have to do with each committee that is related with, employers organization, trade union representative, business sector experts, qualification providers. And as I said, there are experts from this agency, national agency. It's designed in small groups. There are more than 10 members, which, as I said, those that are before expert-driven and decision oriented, and how they operate in practice. As I said, we have these meetings quarterly, 4 times a year. Is evidence-based discussions. We say skill studies, sector data. In the last meeting that we have, I talked a little bit about this, and I said that in the beginning we did, let's say, we have seen which are the needs of the sectors. Analyze. Sorry, it was not coming the word analyze. We have done the analyze of the sector, of course, with the experts, not by ourselves, for some months, and they have seen which are the needs, where are the gaps, what can we improve, and things like that. And they have, after that, reported it in the committee. Reviews qualification standards, formal validation decisions, and written recommendation and approvals, because we discuss for each curricula. Let's say after that we have done this analysis of the sector, where are the gaps, where are the problems, curricula, what is needed, and things like that. After that, we have in very practical way and very let's say like every word, we have seen it, every position, every function, what they need to have, and what is necessary to change in curricula was done. It's a core operational function. It's a committee, as I said, that is continuously. There is everything we do. We discuss and see, identify if there are new qualification needs, review existing qualification, and yes, am I online now? Do you
Yes,
hear me?
we're online, yes.
Okay, because it's a heavy raining here and the internet can give some problems.
Do you prefer
Sorry.
that I share the presentation?
Yeah. No, do I need to reshare it?
No,
Because
if
I
you
have it in
prefer,
my
but no problem.
I have it in my screen.
Okay, great.
I don't know if you have it in your screen. Do you have it? I think you don't have it, so I will share it again. I'll share it. Okay. Okay. I was here.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, I hope I haven't passed any of the slides now because okay. You have it also. Okay.
Yes, now we can see.
Yes, here, I was here. That, as I say, validate occupational standards, recommend updates to qualification catalog, and the role in the qualification cycle was they intervene, skills needs identified, as I said before, standards draft, sector committee validate, standard approved by, and qualification updated. So as I a little bit said it, this is, I said it in the beginning, it's an added value, and I'm very sure when I say this, because it is like an institutional now a system that this sector committee is created. Also is institutionalized sector of dialogue, sector employers participation, transparent validation process, and share ownership of standards, cross-institution coordination. So it is all the actors and partners work together for doing the best. So this is the best practice. This is why together with the director Evis, we said it that we thought that this is better practice to share with you. Technical value is the improved technical qualities like bringing real sector expertise, testing standards against practice, ensuring occupation relevant, detecting out data competence, and integrating, let's say, merging skills. And there is also governance value, that is the strengthened governance through clear validation authority, reduce fragmentation, faster update cycles, and of course, that is for the system, this agency qualification from system coherence, let's say, INGRID. Benefits and impacts. Benefits for that system, we can say there are more relevant qualifications, faster program updates, strong labor market alignment, higher credibility of standards, and better reform implementation. For employers, we can say that is a direct voice in qualification design, because it is what they need, they can provide. In this committee, they can express their needs and the curricula and everything. So it's a very good benefit for employers. Skills better match needs, as I said, reduce training mismatch, that for sure some years ago there has been some mismatch, and the problem of that and also the education in Albania was a mismatch. And now we can say that with this work of sector together, we can we reduce this training mismatch, influence in curricula, as I said, and also in direction, share responsibility. And benefits for learners is that qualification will market value, update skills profiles, better employability, a stronger pathway. And also, I have not put it here, but there is also benefits of the trade unions because we are in the table of this decision-making, let's say, sector committee, and we bring there the need and also the view from the part of the workers. And also we see the curricula not to be too much heavy with duties or, let's say, responsibilities for the workers. So it's very good that also the trade unions are part in this. As I can say that this is a case functioning evidence. As I said, there are 3 committees: the Committee of Information of Technology and Telecom and Communication, and this shows function model in action, regular quarterly operating, skills need analysis as decision based, IE and cybersecurity integrated, continuous validation performed. So also the same thing is for tourism committee, but with some a change for dual vet recommendation and standards update and validation. But regarding IE, AI, so sorry, regarding AI, also after that has been done an analysis of the needs and of the sector and how AI is influencing in this, we have also been made a joint meeting, both of 2 committees, regarding this, foreseeing the influence that digitalization will have in these sectors, in the sector of economy, of tourism, of let's say, as I said, TIC, we call it in Albania TIC, and it's more easy for me saying TIC, that is telecommunication, information, and communication, and also energy. So in these 3 areas has been done on let's say, an expert analyze and also made a joint meeting how we can work together in, let's say, in points that connect us, because we can have different part of sectors, but some things that are connecting. And there is scalability. Is a model that energy committee established, agriculture under development. As I said before, I explained that this on the sectors that is on development that I think very soon will be created is agriculture, and it's sector by sector explanation and some governance model used. So conclusions. I hope I've been very fast because I'm running and not to. This sector skills committee are not technical only. They are operational reform instruments that sector voice, improve some data quality, accelerate qualification updates, increase system credibility. So as I explained before, this is like it's an added value, and it's very good example for VET. And for there are some of the photos of the meetings that we have done. Mostly are the meetings of the tourism where I am member. But also in 2 of them, in one photo is the joint committee, and also one from the technology of information and communication. And energy, as I said, is just now created, and now they are working for the last one. So I hope I have been fast and expressed as much information as I can. Also, another let's say good practices also is with youth guarantee. You are aware. ETF is aware of it because it's the group that is working. And now it's not only, at the beginning was like a pilot in 3 different regions of Albania, this youth guarantee, but now they have created a projected plan for 2026 and 2028 that has been some good results and things like that. But maybe in another time I can give information also for the youth guarantee plan that I'm also in the technical group. So it's very good working. Thank you, and I hope I haven't speech too much.
Thank you very much. You have been wonderful. Thank you for the presentation. You've been fast, but I think it worked very well. I mean, here we are all experts and people know what you're talking about. I was very impressed by your presentation of very good quality, and I liked a lot your slides when you highlight that there is an institutional aspect, a technical aspect, a governance aspect. I wish I could have a similar slide when I make a presentation on behalf of ETF, because it's really at the core of our discussion as ACVT, as you are ACVT representatives, and how this aspect of technical input influence the policy through the governance, because the governance is made less fragmented, more transparent, decisions are traceable. So this is about transparency and accountability, which is good governance. There is a technical element, so people need to be prepared when they go to the meeting. They don't improvise, they are experts. And also the process is institutionalized, which is what we need. Otherwise, it's ad hoc. Otherwise, it's arbitrary. Otherwise, is occasional. So the institutionalization, and I stop praising. Otherwise, it looks like I'm
I will add only one
good
thing.
Publicity. Do you mind, Anisa, if there are quick questions at this stage? Please, Goran, go ahead, and then we move on to Montenegro. Goran.
Just one thing before, sorry, Goran, before, I have to say that the agency, it's doing a very, very good, is the coordinator. And I have to say that I forgot it in Iranian, but the National Agency for Education, Vocational Training and Qualification, they are doing a very, very good work on this. They send on time all the documents, so we can have time also to consult them with some expert, because in my case, not everything I cannot know everything. So if I need to consult, so I have time. So this is why, together with the director of the agency, with Elvis, we decided that this is the best practice, because it's functioning in the best way from all the committees where I am part, technical ones and things like that. Sorry.
Okay, Mayor. Thank you, Anisa, for this very informative, detailed presentation. Greetings to Avi. I have only one question and one clarification for you. In your presentation, sectorial skills committees create, you mentioned, a transparent validation process. Is this validation or recognition?
Sorry. Can you
Yes,
repeat?
in your slides, I saw one sentence that sectoral committees create transparent validation process. This means that transparent validation process.
Validation, yes, sorry.
Yes. This means that sectoral committees have mandate to validate.
I think it refers to validation of standards.
Yeah,
correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, sorry, because as I said, it's a very heavy raining and the internet is not helping me. This is why. Yes, we do validation, and we also we see all the curriculums for each profession that the sector needs, and what will be the functions, the duties, everything. And is like, let's say, a small decision-making group that we discuss every point, everything, and we validate it. And after that, the agency goes on with the. So yes, it's a, let's say, working group that has a decision taking on that.
Thank you for clarification.
I hope that I respond to your question because I missed a little bit the connection.
And one technical question: who can become member of the sectorial committees? Who can become? How you are?
They open.
I suppose that there are representatives from the Chamber of Commerce, Chamber maybe of Commerce, Ministry of Education, or.
In one of my slides, I said all the who can be members. The ministers that are related with that sector depend. For example, in tourism and hospitality is the Ministry of Tourism, the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Health, they have their members on it. The employers' organizations, and there are more than 6 representatives from employers organization. One of them are also agency for tourism. So because also it's connected, all the let's say that it's connected with the sector. After that, there can be member trade unions who has applied. KSSH has applied for that, and we have been approved because you have to know something of the sector and things like that. There are some criteria when you send a request, and also there are experts. Some experts that are all the time from this national agency. The national agency, as I said, is the coordinator of this, that's doing all the process, and expert that can be experts that are all the time with us in every meeting, that are from this national agency, or that are outside experts when it's needed for any specific thing. Yes. So depends of the issues that we will discuss, and if we need some external experts, we can also do this. And for sure, those experts that do the study for the needs of the sector and this.
Thank you so much, Anisa.
But in one of the slides, Roberto, maybe after the meeting will share it with you. You have it in one of the slides, because I try to do it very structural, to put only the points.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Goran, for your very relevant questions. I would like to give the floor now to Marko Vukasinovic. Thank you for making time. And I would like to invite you to present the case of the dual fund in Montenegro, which is another very, very interesting mechanism, very concrete, that support implementation of work-based learning. The floor is yours. And sorry, I also ask you to mind about the time. 12-15 minutes, if possible.
Just to check if you can see the presentation and if it's in full screen mode.
Yes.
Excellent. So first of all, I have to apologize myself for not being present at all the meetings of the network because of a rather busy schedule. But for today, I really made an effort because I really wanted to share the latest developments with our closest colleagues, not only from ETF, but also from region. And I first of all would like to greet them. And of course, to say that all that I will be presenting today went through in the last 6 or 12 months with really strong engagement and support that we received from the European Training Foundation, and we really highly appreciate the timely and really essential support that was fit and tailor-made to our needs. On this slide, I'm thinking that I'm preaching to converted, that I just wanted to share what we refer in Montenegro when we speak about work-based learning, and that it is implemented in the curricula that are, it's not implemented in the 4-year curricula still, And if we speak about regulatory framework, we did quite a lot of enhancements of the legal framework during the summertime and at the beginning of the autumn. We amended quite a number of educational laws, more than 10, but most importantly, the ones dealing with vocational education, adult education, NQF, and we believe that we updated a bit that segment. Also, in the most recent developments, I must point out the adoption of the education reform strategy that covers the 10-year period until 2035, and also again with the quite paramount support from the European Training Foundation, the latest strategy for career guidance and counseling that was adopted also during the summertime. But as a result of the new legal framework, within 6 months after the adoption of the latest law that is regulating vocational education, we established a new feature in the system, and that is the fund for support to dual education. Previously, there were some activities that were supposed to lead to establishment of such fund, maybe even now 6 or 7 years ago, but it was not successful, and we really wanted to have in place this is just a small insight on numbers. If I can, the most important is the one on the bottom, the table, which presents the number of the students, so that you have some rough sensation, because Montenegro is not a big system, and we also want to really improve situation when it comes to promotion of this form of the vocational education. And as I said, for the dual education, work-based learning, the first 2 years were completely covered by the funds from the budget, and the third year was hoping to be allocated the funds that would be allocated from the employer, but it was not the case in all sectors, in all cooperation examples. So that's why we also, based on the analysis that we did with the support of the ETF and in engagement of the experts, we wanted to see what's working, what has some improvements that can be introduced. And in this segment, we have the overview of some positive experience that we want to use as a foundation. But when it comes to the space for improvement, the improvement of cooperation, and of course strengthening the career guidance and counseling mechanisms. I mentioned the recently adopted strategy and the new model, and in this case, with fund for dual education, we wanted to cope with improving the cooperation with the companies, and also to set up sustainable basis for the implementation. So, as I said, the fund was introduced, and now its allocation of the resources really are there for the support of the students, employers, but also the instructors, in-company mentors, so that we have one budget that is common, jointly put in funds, so in order to provide support, and that it's really structured. And based on the legal framework, by law, a rule book on the conditions was also developed, adopted by the ministry, and as it says here, it really prescribes all the conditions, details, criteria, so that someone can really use it of the funds. And this is the maybe I tried to put it as clear as possible. What are the resources from the fund intended for? So the awards for the best students, the co-financing of transportation and meal costs during the individual education contract, because the contract is signed between the company and the student. and the school, and the organization of fairs and competitions in country and abroad, because also in order to promote excellence, we need to also support and conduct fairs and competitions not only on the national level, but when it comes to the best effect, it is definitely the national efforts, and these two. So also support for the payment of student allowances or financial support to employers who conclude an open-ended after the completion of the work-based learning, if there is employment contract with the student that attended work-based learning, and also co-financing of employers' costs for the procurement of the equipment, safety equipment, and similar costs. These are the five main areas, and not to leave it only as a new bylaw. At the end of the December, we already had the award for the first award for the students, the best from the second and third year were eligible, and they also in this rule book they have a clear criteria for the participation. Schools were nominating the students, and at the end we had 35 students awarded, and the ceremony was organized in the ministry with the minister herself, because she was also very supportive in the entire process of not only amending the law, but also making sure that the rule book was developed timely, and also to personally greet those students, because we really want to use the examples of good practice in order to promote work-based learning, and to interest also not only students but also parents and companies, that there is really that as we all know that it should be the best option for the kids in Montenegro. And I'm very glad that for this ongoing school year, this was the first time I'm not sure if I can say in the history, but as far as I'm working in the ministry for 23 years now, that the gymnasium in our capital in the first enrollment period didn't fill all the slots for enrollment. So the first time, sort of in the history, the vocational schools were more popular choice than secondary schools, secondary general school in our capital, which is 1/3 of the population, and which for us was a signal that all the latest changes that and not only this last 1 year are giving results, and this I believe that I will fit in time. This is the last slide. Besides these awards, the funds from the resources from the fund were also already used to cover co-financing of the meal costs for the work-based learning students in cases where the employers were not providing meals, also co-financing of transportation costs, and also the remuneration of the costs of the instructors or in-company mentors. So we believe that with further fine-tuning and implementation, we will try to improve situation and bring together even more contributors to the fund, because it's set up very flexible, and for as it stands here, when it comes to concrete funding, it already had echo from the economy, that on 100,000 that was allocated from the budget, we already had a top-up donation or top-up from the Chamber of Economy with 20,000 euros. So we believe that this fund would definitely present a strong asset for the case of the vocational education in Montenegro, and also really be there to support all key elements for the successful further implementation, because we were targeting also students, companies, in-company mentors, and also promotion and excellence, because we know how important that segment is in order to really have an outreach, and in order to make sure that all relevant information are presented to the parents also, because we believe also the parents are important for the success of education in any country, and in this case specifically the work-based learning segment of the dual education. So I will be happy to share the presentation with Roberto Siria, so that you can distribute it to all other colleagues. And also, as I said in the previous period, we had this external evaluation of the practical teaching both in school and dual education, which was published both in English and Montenegrin language. And also we are having sort of continuous promotion on vocational education with the promotional video that was done, and with the also of promotional events that were conducted in the specific period of year when enrollment period is in April and May. So ministry is having really vocational education as top priority. We are also trying to respond to all the invitations to different events with really representatives that can contribute and share. And also I mentioned it a couple of times when we were at the training, when we visited WorldSkills, we heard how the Danish model is operating, that each and every company in Denmark is contributing with 400 and plus euros times number of employers per year for similar fund. And they said that it is not the best case, but it is giving the results. I mean, they were very, very modest about it. So I also used the opportunity that I learned it firsthand to such information, and really said to her that she has to be an advocate to communicate it to all our stakeholders, social partners, because if we say 50 euros times the number of employees for Montenegrin framework, it would mean that we could gather at least 500,000 from only a couple of companies that are operating at the market, that are having really solid turnovers and similar things. So I believe that really, and when I'm looking at the faces of the screen, I see really colleagues that are advocates in their own countries, and I'm very glad that we have sort of now for a couple of years same persons. It is important that these messages are really communicated to the top policy level ministers or state secretaries, so that really they know that such models exist, that even it is not in Denmark, as we heard, it is not prescribed by the law. And as I said, not only companies that are hosting the apprentices, but all companies nationally in Denmark. So I would just like to conclude with that segment, and I hope that this was interesting. This is really a new feature in our system. We don't have quite a lot of to share more on the implementation segment, but as I said, we really wanted to make sure that it is not only another bylaw that is prepared, designed, and adopted, but that's why I'm very glad that we already have these awards given and these co-financing mechanisms already put in place, and it is also promoted by the ministry through all channels of communication, so that general public is aware that the government, the ministry, the fund is alive and it is providing support. Thank you, and I hope that I stayed within the timeline provided.
Thank you, Marco. Really another excellent presentation. I'm really impressed. I think it shows well how the government or the Ministry of Education has a strong intention of work-based learning. You already have results by the increase of the number of the students in VET. So it works in terms of attractiveness, and it shows how, you know, mechanisms should adapt to the real circumstances and to the needs also of implementing. But I also liked your last comment, where by this instrument you also want to motivate employers to do their part, like the government is doing its part. You know, money is available also for students for to support expenses, but also companies, technical equipment for safety and so on. So all the various demands are considered, and this is a step, and you want employers also making a step on their side. I think this is very interesting. So who wants to ask a question or make a comment to the second extremely interesting presentation and case ongoing in Montenegro? Goran, you want?
Just
Go ahead.
congratulations, Marco, to your model that is very inspirative and also
I don't hear well. It's only me, or okay. Goran, can you repeat because your voice went off?
Yes, I just wanted to congratulate to Montenegro for this such a creative way of motivating students in terms of work-based learning. And I'm happy and I'm glad that you find funds for motivation of students in VET. I'm really impressed. We have to copy this model, Marco. Thank you.
Thank you. This is really also the purpose of making use of other countries' example to learn and take. Marco, maybe just a short question on in the line of what you said at the end. I mean, to get there, to approve this regulation, these funds for dual education, was it difficult? Have you consulted with employers or trade unions or schools? How did you, I mean, how the decisions came and how the formulation of the funds, which looks very detailed. So, of course, there is a lot of work behind, it's clear. And how the process has worked.
I believe that as my colleagues in Albania, we are also having heavy rain here. So if there is a bit of a freeze of the picture, please be patient. Yes, it was a process. And I mentioned this external evaluation of the practical segment of education in vocational education, both in school and dual shape, because it was also an important resource to have really decisions made based on data, on really data that is relevant, based on the analysis, which also, as I said, we had the ETF engaged there, which also gave it another weight to it and relevance. So is one thing, and based on that segment, we were able to say, okay, what works we will keep it, but we will try to focus on as I said, further improvement of the cooperation between the education institutions and employers, also support to in-company trainers. That is also very, very important segment for the sustainable, successful implementation of the work-based learning, because if you don't have in-company mentor or a person in the company that is hosting the students, then really the efforts are questionable. So absolutely, with really involving, I must say that social dialogue is really, when it comes to vocational education, is really strong in Montenegro, and I'm very glad that even for the ACVT body at the beginning, only the representatives of the ministry were attending those meetings. But through time, we became in a situation that our colleagues from the Chamber of Economy and trade unions reminded us that, oh, you were not there last time or something. So we were sort of supporting and pulling each other to be there, and I'm very, very glad, and I'm also glad that all the other colleagues are having such experience, that when we are invited for the event of the ETF, for example, based on the ACVT and DGVT membership, we see the colleagues from the chambers, we see the colleagues from the unions, which is very important. That's why I really want to appreciate the attendance of the colleagues from Macedonia and Bosnia today, from those social partner representatives, because they are also the essential for this. I mean, the ministry or the government without them couldn't do anything, that's why we really wanted to have very consultative process from the very beginning. Also, from what my Albanian colleague said, with sectoral commissions, which are now operating in Montenegro for many years, also a mechanism that sort of needs a constant reminder on their importance in the process. Because sometimes you have the membership changing and everything, but those persons have to be aware on how important they are and how influential they are. Because in sectoral commissions, for example, in Montenegro, there is always a bigger number of the representatives from other sectors than the government, private sector, public sector, NGO sector, and things like that. And they can really make a difference. They can push for changes if there is a need for a new curriculum or certain analysis to be done or whatever. So that's only they have to be aware on the power that they own, if I can put it that way. As I said, how influential they are at the system level. So, and also it's up to us to really put it in the first, that they are really the driving seat, wheel is in their own hand. So yes, as I said, really strong social dialogue as a basis and evidence. Analysis,
thank you very much.
That we
That's
used,
very clear.
the findings that we used, and then we pushed forward based on that.
Okay, thank you. I was wondering if Ozdemir, who had his mic open, you want to say something. Ozdemir, please.
Hello, everyone. Marco, thank you for your presentation. It's a really interesting point because one of the biggest obstacles is this communication between public sectors and private sectors. That's why if you have a fund and if you manage this fund between these stakeholders, it's really important for all of countries. That's why I wonder that as a Turkish government, we try to do similar things. I wonder that how you measure the effectiveness of this fund and of this process, because there are too many stakeholders there, and how you can manage this fund and how you can analyze this data also, because there are lots of points to affect this fund. It's not easy to manage this fund and measure it. I wonder that if you have a report or any documents, and if you can share with us, I will be very happy. Or if you want to share your experience, as a Turkish side, we will be very happy to share our idea with you.
Thank you, Ozdemir. A very, very relevant point. Is there a monitoring mechanism? I understood this is a new fund, so perhaps there is no experience yet. But then the question is, have you thought about a way to monitor?
Yeah, absolutely. Because whenever there are funds, then the reporting and monitoring is obligatory. Absolutely. Since this is really the beginning, the first 6 months of the implementation, we still don't have any kind of formal analysis. But yes, we will be following the number of the students, the number of the contracts, the number of students started, the number of the students completed the year, and also the number of the potential of the contracts concluded after the completion of the work-based learning, which will be the main important data on the success of the existing of this. Also, the use of the funds. If we were able to really mobilize entire fund or the funding was maybe too generous and there was no need. Also, I mean, we have to be also self-critic about it. So is this 100,000 and I say Montenegro has a smaller system with in total, we have less than around 50 schools in which vocational curricula is being delivered. So please take that into consideration, because maybe for Turkey, I'm sure that 100,000 euros is enough for maybe a smaller region or couple of towns. But yes, absolutely. And we will be more than glad to share first monitoring and reporting when it is completed. I'm very glad that Ozdemir had that in mind, because for us in the ministry, it is important to see if the effects are there, if we are achieving what we wanted, and if it was really relevant to introduce it based on the findings that we have. There is basis, but of course the monitoring will be providing the evidence if we are on the right path and what needs to be fine-tuned. The good thing is that this rule book is adopted by the ministry, so it doesn't take too much of administrative procedures or time when there is a need to update it. That's why we opted to do it like that. We have it in the law, but then by law is much easier to be updated, to be amended, to be changed. So it is also important that if there is a need for some fine-tuning, we can quickly react and do it only at the level of the government, the level of the ministry, which is really taking not too much time. Sorry.
It's 10:58. We have only 2 minutes left, but if you don't mind, I really would love to give the floor to William, the expert who is supporting the group in putting in writing everything we are saying. William, sorry to compromise your time, but it was important to listen to both Albania and Montenegro. But with that, please start your, introducing the content just in general lines of what you're putting in writing by listening and hearing from all these practices. And then I propose the next meeting will be entirely dedicated to compiling, say, or to finalizing our paper. So if I'm asking everyone to stay 5 minutes longer, yeah, William, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Two very interesting presentations, and glad to hear about the development of the sector skills committees in Albania and the fund for the support for dual education in Montenegro, which I think is very important. I've been asked to write this short report on the institutional arrangements and partnerships for skills governance in the candidate countries to support your work. I've produced a draft so far, but I very much welcome any comments that you have on it. I'll just share the contents page, and I'll share my my email address if that's possible. Let's see if I can do that. Okay. I think that's up now. Yeah, so this is the title, the institutional arrangements and partnerships in skills governance in the candidate countries in the EU accession framework. And this is basically what I've been working on. This is the contents of this short paper, it's a 10-page paper. It's with basically 3 sections. The first is obviously the introduction, where I look at the EU priorities for VET and the corresponding priorities in candidate countries for governance and partnerships. And then the 2 main sections are the first one, section 2, is on institutional arrangements for skills system governance. And I look on the challenges facing the institutional arrangements and the good practices that I can identify. And this is where I'd very much welcome any suggestions or input from yourselves as to the sort of good practices that you would like to see appearing in this report. And then the next substantial section is on the partnerships for the planning and delivery of work-based learning. And again, same sort of structure, the challenges facing partnership arrangements and the good practices that are available. And again, if you have any examples that you'd like me to include in this report, please do send them any documentation or any small suggestions by email to me. And then there's a final little point about, I think we've been discussing this in a way or today, the employer cooperation in the dual education and the work-based learning. This is a sort of problematic area. What are the incentives for employers to get involved? Indeed, what are the incentives for learners to get involved? But the fund for dual education in Montenegro is somehow slightly addressing that, although it's not terribly substantial, but hopefully it will become more substantial over time. Fund for supporting the employment of the students after they've completed their dual education and so on. So, and then conclusions. So this is my email, and I very much welcome any any comments or points you'd like to me to include in this report from your perspective that you can share with me. So, given that we've run out of time, I'll stop there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, William. So the idea of the paper we have already discussed at length with the group, but is that we represent the viewpoint of the candidate countries in the ACVT. So we are not deviating from, say, the program of the ACVT, but you have decided as GLAD members to put a focus on partnerships, in particular for work-based learning and institutional arrangements. And so far we have had very good presentations with respect to these two important pillars. And today we heard about an institutional arrangement and financing more specifically to support work-based learning. And we have heard excellent presentation about the partnership in the form of Sector Skills Committee in Albania.